Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Andrew Czysz Jr. with CA Commentator and Esports Heaven journalist, joined today by a very special guest, that being Abner Chamako Custodio Gonzalez. How are you doing, Abner?
I'm pretty good. Thanks for saying the whole name. That means a lot. Like in many situations, it's like, okay, can we cut one last name or something? It's too long, but you got everything right there. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yep, no problem. Yeah, I have problems with people pronouncing my last name. It's Chish. It's spelled CzYsz.
Mm,
My family goes around with the joke that it's Johnson. All the letters are silent. But
I
it's
like
that
it. Yeah,
yeah, but
can
it's
relate to that.
yep, it's pronounced Chish. It's Chish. That's like the hyphenated pronunciation for it.
I wouldn't be able to say it even if I practiced for a year.
Yeah.
But I can relate. I can relate. Like the places where they ask you for your name to get your order.
Yep.
I usually gave them a fake name if it's Puerto Rico, because in the U.S. Abner is fairly common, but when I used to live in Puerto Rico, my name was not common at all. So whenever I said Abner, they will go like Angel, Abdiel, or some other name, like it's close, but it's not the same. So Pedro, Juan, you just write it down. It's easier.
All right. So let's get on with the first question here. So to start, what inspired you to get into broadcasting?
Sure. I It was around 2011, 2012 when I was watching this YouTuber. I'm not gonna say his name or anything right now because he is not politically correct. His content is not. And back then it was not a big deal, but I think today it will be so. But he was funny, like really funny when he was doing his commentating, shoutcasting, whatever you want to call it, and and I really was drawn to it. So I wanted to emulate his style. Again, not politically correct, not PC. So I decided, like, okay, I'm not gonna try this because I am not a funny guy. Like I can be funny a little bit, but to do what he does the whole time, it's exhausting to me. I don't have it. I really, have no idea how he was able to continue with that for so long.
Hmm.
So I decided to try and do it, like seriously. Like, okay, let's go and try it for real, and it worked. But it's something that I've been, looking around my life, just going through my thoughts, and it's something that I've been doing for much longer. I remember when I was a kid, 10, 12 years and old, and I was, you know, imitating the wrestling commentators on TV, right?
Uh
So
huh. Yep.
it's something that it's been, building up for a very long time.
Yeah, I can agree with the whole wrestling commentator thing too. That's where I kind of got the inspiration as well. But it's more of towards the NFL commentators as well. You know how they break down the games and stuff like that. But for my commentary, I was inspired by the football players and wrestling commentators as well. Kind of mold that into esports as well, and I really got my start because I was able to get an opportunity from Horlick High School's esports coach, Gregory Smith, and I was able to commentate four Rocket League games for their varsity team. It was two regular season games, two playoff games. And from there, I started as kind of like a monotone guy. I didn't really know what I was doing at the time. My vocal variety wasn't there. But, as I got feedback from people over over time, I was able to really hone in on my craft and, become my own person with that. And I signed with Sia too, and that really helped me because I got more exposure to commentary and stuff like that. But
Right.
yeah, I can totally agree with the wrestling commentators being an inspiration for broadcasting for sure, whether
You,
it be esports or traditional sports.
one good thing that wrestling has that I don't see as much in other uh, commentating jobs is that wrestling has colorful guys like JR. I mean, not JR, the King, Lawler,
Yes.
Jerry Lawler, right?
Yep.
Jerry Lawler is a very unique color commentator because he is not there to give you like the insight, like the analysis. He's there to make fun of things, to give you like this spicy comments, but they are not necessarily telling you a lot about the match, right?
Right.
You got his partner JR, Jim Ross. He will do like very serious commentating, right?
Hmm.
But you got the funny, goofy guy next to him, and that's something I tell people about color. People think about color; it has to be analysis, and yes, it can be analysis, but it can be something else. It can be a clown next to you doing something else, right?
Right,
and
right,
I
right.
love it. I love it. And people that come from wrestling, they understand that part, and they can make it work. Some other people, they're very stiff the whole time, and no, it has to be analysis, and that's it. And, I mean, you don't have to put yourself in that box and never come out.
Right, yeah, you have to be open. You have to be yourself as well. I mean, obviously the analytical part of commentary is very, important as well, but you got to have fun with it. You got to let loose
Mhm.
sometimes. I mean, you see a guy like Pat McAfee on the show every once in a while and he's, energetic. He's ready to call the match, ready to do analytics as well as, make funny jokes as well. So,
Yep.
yeah. Moving on to the next question. When you first started broadcasting for the RLCS, what feeling was absorbed when you called matches in front of a big crowd?
Ooh. Okay, so the first time I did RLCS, I mean, I'm talking. I'm guessing You're asking me about RLCS, like the big show in English and everything else, because I've been
Yes.
doing RLCS in Spanish for a while. It wasn't a big crowd, in the beginning, and it's been building up lately, but it wasn't as big as right going into the English speaking stream,
Hmm.
and it was the first time was season 7, New Jersey. That was uh, the Prudential Stadium, and that place is big. That place is quite big. So we were doing rehearsals, and they told me, okay, so the first time you're gonna be on camera, you're gonna be down there, on the arena in front of everyone. Golden Boy is gonna be asking you a few questions about the region, about South America, because that's my specialty, quote unquote.
Hmm.
So I was there for for rehearsals, and I was feeling it. I was really feeling it. But Golden Boy, being the goat that he is, he put his arm around me and he told me, focus on my voice. Focus on what I'm telling you. You know this. You're the person that knows the region better than anyone else. So don't worry about it. Okay, it's gonna go good, and that calmed me down a lot. Having his words, a person that is so experienced, that has done this for forever, right? And
Hmm.
fun fact is that Golden Boy is actually from Puerto Rico. His parents are from Puerto Rico as well, just like me. So kind of the bond right there. He has a beautiful English, not like me, but yeah, just having that moment, it calmed me down a lot. It helped me out a lot. So it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. And after that moment, I haven't had like a big jitters moment. Like I don't get that nervous because of him, because of Golden Boy was able to get me through that moment. So the first time I was actually on camera, I think we had to. Uh, I was in the analysis desk, and we had to fill up for about 40 minutes because one player kept having controller problems and PC problems.
Oh man.
It was standard. The computer started doing the Windows updates right
Oh
there
no,
at
no.
that moment. So,
I feel the pain
uh,
with that.
so I had to be there. They keep asking me questions about the region, and I kept saying things. The issue, I mean, not an issue, but the beauty of it is, for me, was so brand new. I was so excited about being there for the first time that it didn't felt that long. It didn't felt like, okay, that they are bombarding me with this many questions, and I gotta be on top. I was just having fun with the moment, because I wasn't nervous anymore. I was excited. I was happy to be there. So yes, I think that answered your question. Right now, casting is a little bit different because now I have to use my voice a lot more, and I know I struggle in casting in English, as my second language.
Mhm.
So I cannot do the same things I do in Spanish. I cannot put the same emotion. I cannot talk as fast. I need to be very conscious about how I say words so that they are understandable, and that takes a toll on me a little bit more. So I rely on being more of a color person on English because I can talk less, and but I get frustrated because I want to do play by play every now and then, right? So
Right.
it's that juggle. So I start casting and do whatever I can in color, and then when I feel like my English is clicking, that I'm getting into that point where I can flow a little bit more, then I start getting that role of play by play as well. So we always do like a hybrid thing, but
Mhm.
and I talk to, I mean, whoever is casting with me will I'll tell them that, like, okay, give me a few minutes. I'm gonna get in my groove, and then when I do, I'm gonna help you out a little bit more. I'm gonna be more of a hybrid instead of just a color. So yeah,
Yep.
it's wild. It depends on how I feel that my English is coming through on that situation.
Yeah, and you talk about, being nervous at the start when you were an analyst. That's how I was when commentating as well at like big. So we have state championship events for Wisconsin High School Esports Association. I just had one this past Saturday last week. And in a new venue, UW River Falls, I was a little bit nervous. There was the camera obviously and there was big lights in front of me. And I've had experience with being on camera before, so I wasn't nervous in that regard, but it was just being in a venue with a lot of people as well. And as the event went on, I got more comfortable with it. And there was a big tech issue. It caused like a 2-hour delay, so I had a bit of a break in casting. But like I casted for about 3 hours before then, and then as it went on, I was able to really pick up on my casting and do a really great job. And towards the end as well, even though it was a big schedule delay, like a 3-hour delay, we were supposed to be done at like 5 p.m. We were done at like 8 p.m. But I was
Oh
still,
wow.
yeah, I was still, even though I was tired, I was still ready to cast and all that. And I kind of do the whole hybrid system thing, like you said, with the whole color and play-by-play commentating as well. And yeah, that's worked out pretty well with me. I can work with pretty much anybody, so that's good.
Excellent. I think that's the best thing for anyone to do. Be able to fill in both roles whenever you can. Yes, I mean, if you're told to be color, that's fine. I mean, you just be the color for that event, but don't wait. Don't put yourself like, okay, I'm the color guy and that's it. I'm gonna be always a color guy. Just be able to do whatever, right? And especially in moments in Rocket League where you're doing a color comment, and all of a sudden the play gets crazy, and you gotta switch to play by play right on the moment, just because, I mean, you gotta give that moment the hype that it needs. You have to be able to do that, right? Even if you're the color guy, and it's not like, okay, I'm gonna let you do your thing and do the play by play. No, 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 no. You take it on yourself and you do it, because that's a split second that you waste, and anything can happen there. So you gotta be ready for those moments.
For sure. All right. Moving on to the third question: is there any other video game that you were interested in broadcasting before you joined RLCS?
Right. So when I was getting into the broadcasting thing, I was looking more into Call of Duty. That was my main game back then. I'm not saying I was good. I'm just saying it was the one I played the most, and I really wanted to get into Call of Duty. The thing is that Call of Duty was way more saturated in terms of people working the game. Right.
Hmm.
It was a game that had been there for a long time, even in 2012. Back in 2012, or that time, we had Modern Warfare 3, I think it was, or Black Ops, Black Ops 2, maybe. One of those. It was around that time. So previously, have Black Ops 1 and Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 1, and World of War and everything else.
Hmm.
I mean, so it had been there for a few years, and and so I tried a little bit. I could have gone further if I wanted to, like if I really wanted to push into it, but I was brand new. I decided not to waste all my energy into trying to get there, and eventually I found Rocket League, so that was good. But yeah, Call of Duty was the main thing. I have also tried Gears of War, which I have a
That's
blast with that
interesting.
one. Yeah, I did a little bit of Gears of War. I have done I had thought about Fall Guys a little bit here and there, and doing things with that, and some other games. Knockout City, that it's getting under the rug now, but that's sad. But
Yeah,
I
I
was
know.
I was waiting, not expecting, waiting for that game to get like a good um free cam that you can use as a spectator, so you could look into the action in a different way, not just the player cam. And I was waiting for that to happen for me to jump into the game, because I thought it had a lot of potential, esports wise,
Hmm.
and it didn't never happen. And right now I am working with Roller Champions, which is another game that developers, I mean, guys, come on, you gotta give that game a little bit more love.
Yeah,
It's very fun, but yeah, they don't get the love that it deserves.
yeah. Ubisoft's a bit inconsistent with their franchises. I mean, I go back to Watch Dogs, and I'm like, like how they sabotage that franchise from like one, but the jump from 1 to 2, that was okay. Going from Aiden Pierce to Marcus. I mean, obviously the story in one is better, but like going to Legion, I mean, I kind of just lost all hope for that. But the Bloodline DLC, it kind of revived my love for Watch Dogs and all that. As far as games for me that I want to cast in the future, obviously I'm tailored to Rocket League. That's like my main game. That's what I started with for esports. I'm going to be shifting towards Valorant come this Tuesday for Wasia, and then back in the fall I did Smash Bros. That really rejuvenated. Well, I would say rejuvenated, but ignited a sort of energy that I never knew I had for casting.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, because there's so many exciting moments in there.
Yeah.
Like when both players are at like 100% damage, you're like, oh, who's gonna knock out the first player and all that. Yeah, it's very fun that way.
That's interesting that you say that. I haven't felt that way, like build a flame, like spark a flame once again. Not that, but I've been casting NBA 2K, like simulation, not a real game, not
Hmm.
two players competing against each other, but simulation. And that's another project I have with a friend, and it's more like casting like a real basketball game in some sense.
Hmm.
It's been more fun than I thought it would be. That has been a unique experience as well.
Yeah, it would be the same thing if you were casting a Madden game. You'd think, oh, you're casting a traditional football game and stuff like that. Yeah. Moving on to the fourth question. In your opinion, what is the best part about casting for the RLCS?
Um, there's a lot of good things. Getting to travel, getting to see new places. That's pretty good. But to be honest with you, um, hours are pretty long, and you don't see as much as you would like from those places. Uh, but I would say it's more like a fan kind of thing, getting into the place and feeling the energy, and being there and knowing that you're part of that energy as well. But it's a mutual thing because you feed off the energy, but they also feed off you, right?
Hmm.
It's like back and forth as
Yeah.
a caster. So you can see that when you're like, especially in RLCS where they put you like right down there in the arena, and you're casting like in front of everyone, like you have people 360 surrounding you. That's a pretty nice feeling, to be honest, and meeting everyone like at that moment, you get to meet the fans, and they're so excited to be there, and to just have a moment with casters and players, and everyone else, and I think it's very fun. It's something that I would have never experienced uh, if not for esports. So I'm very, very I appreciate that. Thankful for that experience. To esports itself for giving me that chance.
Yeah, I feel the same way too about the experience with being in front of a crowd and commentating in front of them, feeding off of them as well. It's a great thing to have for sure. And also, getting to cast video games in general, getting to flex your knowledge on some of these video games like Rocket League and Smash Bros. And Valorant, possibly Rainbow Six Siege for me in the future. I mean, it's going to be great. And I've had a
Yeah.
tremendous start to my career so far in the 2 years I've been working in the esports scene.
One of the best comments I have had is people saying that they like my insight on the game, which is what you're saying now, right? You're flexing
Hmm.
your knowledge, but if you're able to tell it in a way that people catch it and appreciate it, because a lot of people know whatever I'm saying, they already know it. They probably have a better understanding than me in the game, right? Some people,
Right.
but still, to be able to say it in a way that it enhances the experience, and they let you know, that's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then also, if you tailor like a storyline around it, like if it's a historical matchup between two teams, I'll give you an example for like Wasia for Rocket League for Waukesha South and Oak Creek. They're two teams that have been really going at it since I started joining. And when I casted them for week 4 back in the end of January, I hyped it up as, oh, this big match where the grand final from Division 1 from spring 2022 is going to commence again, and see who's going to win this match. But yeah, like tailing a storyline around a matchup, especially an esports matchup, gets people involved. I kind of take it from the WWE where they use storylines to create different feuds and all that, but I just build that upon a matchup for esports, and I think that's pretty incredible that I get to do
Yep.
that. All right, question number 5. What is the origin story behind the Chamako username?
It was a mistake. I was I just bought my PlayStation 3, right? We're talking ages ago, and I wanted to play. That's it. I wanted to play. I didn't care about creating a an account or anything like that. I wanted to play. So they force you to create an account, right? Right on. I
Right.
mean,
Yep.
you cannot even put a game in, right?
Nope.
Until you actually create your account. You have to you have a username. So the first thing I thought about was Chamako. Chamako is a fairly used word in Puerto Rico. I mean it's not the most used, but I use it quite often. Chamaco means like a young guy, like a kid, right?
Oh, okay.
Um, so but the way we use it in Puerto Rico is that we can call anyone your age a chamaco, right?
Hmm.
A little bit older than you, like a college student, a young 20 something person, that could be a chamaco, right? Um, so, but usually in most Latin American places, it's like a very young kid, and not a baby, but a kid. And I thought, okay, chamaco, bam, let's put it there. Already taken. Okay, well, Chamako with a Z, with a K instead of a Z. Taken. Okay, so at the end of the O in the keyboard, you got on top of the O, you got the 0 and the 9.
Hmm.
Those are the numbers on top of the O. So okay, let's put 0 9. And now, okay, you can play. So my idea was, let me play. I'll change my username afterwards. Okay, that's it. No, you cannot change your
No.
username afterwards. You're stuck with that.
uh,
So, so I had added people to play with them, friends and stuff. I'm not gonna be changing the game once, then the username once again. And then when I start doing content in Twitch, I thought, okay, so I remember I was doing Call of Duty first, so I thought, okay, so the people that I play with, maybe they want to find me or whatever. So I'm gonna keep the Chamaco, which it didn't turn out like that. That some friends did watch it, but it didn't matter my name. It was about me, the content and whatever. So
mhm.
I could have chosen a different name for Twitch and YouTube and whatever, but I didn't. And right now I keep it to myself as a reminder to be playful, right? To stay like a little bit younger, to have energy and not become that that old boring guy that talk and say nothing. Yeah, I want to have some energy in me, and that's like a reminder, Chamaco.
Yep. Just be you. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Short synopsis about my username, TurboJuggler32. It was all Xbox generated pretty much, except for the 32. So I remember one day, I think when I was in seventh grade, like the summer of my seventh grade, I was gonna change my username, and I just couldn't come up with anything except for the 32. So I was like, you know what? I'll just keep the Turbo Juggler and just add 32 on it because I 32 is my favorite number, so I just wanted to slap that on there. And yeah,
Any reason why 32? I mean, favorite number is does it have anything behind or?
no, not really. I just like the
Okay.
number 32 at this point. Yeah. Yeah, and it's stuck with me for a while, and I've just gotten used to it. It just fits me as a person, and that's why I have never changed it. Obviously, for like Nintendo Switch or whatever, I use a different username. I use AC underscore 32. The AC is Andrew, and then the C is my last name, Czysz. So
Mhm.
that's the story with that username. But yeah, those two I kind of alternate between.
It's weird. You get a 32 and you don't have anything behind it. I was thinking about 32. No month has 32 days or something like that. But okay, it's
I mean, it's the inverse of Jordan's number. We can just say that.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Question number 6. Out of all the majors and championships that you have called for RLCS or been on the desk as an analyst for, what was your favorite one?
Mm, I think I think Worlds was my favorite. Worlds in season 2021 2022, right? The one that happened last year
Yep.
because it had the most South American representation. Um, I and it was the one where South America actually had a possibility of making it far, and they did, right, and making a statement. So my presence there was, I think, more important um, in that sense for being able to celebrate. Not important for the people, for me, to be able to celebrate with the situation, the moment. Um, calling Furia versus the club was a very emotional moment for me because it was a moment. I mean, whoever win that match will go into the playoffs into Championship Sunday and secure a top eight. Uh, Whoever loses is out of the tournament, but they are both South American teams that I have seen them for a long time, and I've been calling their matches together, and I knew that the history between the two of them. I even told you, you were talking about storylines, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
those teams had played each other a few times, and I think they played each other in every single regional, and they had a combined record of going. I mean, not I don't know the combined record, but they had gone to Game 7. I don't know how many times. I think every time they face each other on regionals on online, they went to Game 7,
That's
which is
crazy.
which is the most that you can in Rocket League. The way
Hmm.
the tournament is set up, and they had I don't know how many overtimes. So the history there was very special, and that's one of the things that it was good to have me there because people were saying, "Oh, Furia, it's the biggest team. They're gonna win. It's gonna be easy, right?" And I was there to you know tell people, okay, hold on. You gotta look at the full picture here. Okay. Furia has been more dominant against other teams, but between the two of them, you don't know. They are evenly matched. If there's any team that knows how Furia plays, it is the club, right? So you gotta be very careful with that. And thank God they went to game number 7. I'm getting goosebumps now. Okay, thank God that they went to game number 7, and they were actually able to show case what South American Rocket League is the way I have seen it for so long. So that was a very special moment for me. I don't think anything. I mean, yes, Furia went and they beat Moist, and that was very good. But I'm talking about the club and Furia, not even about Moist, which was amazing for many fans. But for me, I mean, the special moment was right there in that game. I even shed a tear at the end. So
Yeah.
uh, that was so cool.
Talk about a full circle moment there. That's incredible. That's an incredible story right there.
Yeah.
Question number 7. When it comes to the cars in Rocket League, do you favor one over the others? If so, why?
Merc, a taller hitbox, you can cover more on the net and get better blocks. That's what I told myself for the longest. Because I was so bad at the game, so I gotta go for the biggest card I can find, and God have mercy, and help me save some balls. Um, I don't. Right now, there's a friend of mine that says whenever I play a game,
Hmm.
I mean, I was talking about himself, right? Whenever he plays a game, he just goes for the character for the player, that looks coolest to him. And I'm taking that into consideration right now, and I'm just playing with the Tyrannus, which is a card that came in one of the rocket passes, like a few rocket passes ago, and it was the card that I look into it, and I like it. I mean, it looks nice. I like how it looks. I recently found out it is a Dominus hitbox, but I wasn't even aware. It's like I'm using it just because. So
Hmm.
if you want to go by hitbox, I think there is an actual YouTube video about that from a fairly good player. Is it Thanovich? I don't remember his name. I'm sorry. But he goes more in depth of with every single hitbox, and he can probably tell you more than me. I am not a good player. I'm decent at best, so my opinions, it doesn't matter. But just play with whatever you feel confident. Whatever you like. I don't think everyone should be using octanes. I'm getting tired of seeing octanes out there.
Hey, I just
Uh,
use it for consistency. So, although
but
I
it
do,
doesn't even
yeah, I do alternate between the different cars as well. But yeah, I mostly use the Octane.
but it doesn't even fit the box that well.
Yeah,
That's my problem with it. But yeah, I would suggest people you just use whatever.
yeah.
Use whatever you like visually, because you're gonna be looking at that card for a long time. Whatever you enjoy watching, just go for it.
All right. Question number 8. Although you are tailored to Rocket League a ton since you cast it, are you a fan of any other video games? Like, which video games do you play? Which ones are you a fan of? That type of deal.
I I don't watch too many esports outside of Rocket League, and to be honest, I wouldn't watch that much Rocket League if I wasn't involved. So I it's hard for me to build a fandom through to the teams, and that's the problem. If you're not a fan of a team, then it's hard to go there and watch the whole thing over.
Hmm.
It's a lot of hours. Esports is a lot of hours. Like you don't have a broadcast that is 2 hours long and that's it. It takes forever. So one thing I do enjoy a lot is speedrunning. Like watching speedruns to me is, you know, jaw dropping and games done quick. They do an amazing thing where they're combine speed runs and in charity all together, and it's amazing, and they bring people that really knows about the game, so they can give you, you have the speedrunner, whoever is doing the run, and you have someone else telling you why that person is doing whatever they're doing, what is coming up ahead and how they're gonna deal with it, and the risks of getting it right versus getting it wrong, and all that information, which is amazing color casting. They do it in such a fun way. I love it. I really enjoy that part. So it could be. I mean, they do such a good job that I don't care about the video game as much as whoever is commentating and giving you the information about the game, which is something to be said. I think like it could be Minecraft, it could be Lion King from Super NES, it could be whatever. It's an old video game that I have never. They were doing a speedrun about a Titanic game, the movie Titanic,
Hmm.
and I wasn't aware there was such a game. So, but it was fun. So I really do enjoy that part. Can we call speedrunning esports? I guess we can. I'm not.
It might be considered esports. I mean, it takes a lot of skill to do that. High risk, high rewards, a good fluid movement. Have you seen anything related to like Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga? That
Yes,
speedrun
yes,
debacle?
yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that is my favorite part about speedrunning. I watched that entire video. I don't remember who it was by exactly, but yeah, it was like an hour-long video depicting like the
Someone
his.
insult.
Yeah. Yep.
It is someone insult. Someone insult
Yes.
is amazing. Yeah.
Yep.
I have no affiliation with him. I wish I could know him. He is such a good storyteller. I love it. I started watching because he used to do like Punch Out. He was big into Punch Out before,
Mm,
and he did like the first few about Punch Out, and they were like 30-minute long videos, and now he is like expanding, like getting people and interview them and everything else. And like bro, it's so good. I love it. Yes, continue, please. Because I watch. I mean, that's one of the games that I really don't watch. Like I have tried Lego Star Wars. It's not my type of game. I will not play that for a long time. But I sat down and watched the whole hour long documentary. Uh, because I mean it's so much fun. I don't know why, but it is.
yeah, it's very fun. One of my friends recommended it to me. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go watch this. Yeah, we were watching it together for like about a half hour, and he was like, oh, you should totally finish it. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll do that. So yeah, Summoning Salt's a great guy for sure.
So
Cool.
what about you? I mean, uh, your other esports, because you have mentioned Valorant, you have mentioned Smash. So
Yep.
the what's the one that catches you for real?
So the video game that catches me the most for casual play is Mario Kart Wii for sure. So
Oh,
yeah, so a good tradition that I have with my family is that we play it almost every night at 6:30 p.m. and we've done that for 12 years.
wow! I love it.
Yeah.
That's okay. 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 That's real family bonding there. I love
Yep.
it. That's interesting. I don't have any like I don't have any games, to be honest, that I play as much as Rocket League, even though I'm not great at Rocket League, but that's the one I go to most of the time. I've been playing some soul-like games, but I don't consider myself like a Souls fan. So it's more of okay, I'm gonna play this game, finish it, and then come back to Rocket League basically, and that's more or less what I've been doing for the past few years. And I enjoy many different genres, and just surprise me any game that is fast paced and action packed, not too heavy on story. I enjoy, but yeah, in the end, it's back to Rocket League.
Yeah, kind of in the same boat. I usually stick with Nintendo games like Mario, Metroid, all that kind of stuff. Splatoon, and then for like Xbox and PC, go with like Rocket League, obviously Rainbow Six Siege, stuff like that. So yeah, that's a little bit of my gaming interest. Question
Pretty good.
number 9: If you did not have a passion for broadcasting esports, what career would you have pursued?
Okay, I do have a job, right, outside of broadcasting. I don't make enough here to be doing this full time. If I could, I would do it full time. I'd rather do this than whatever I do on the side. However, I'm not gonna talk about that job because it's not something that I really enjoy. Right? If I was able to, I'm taking your question more like if I could choose any job right now, what would I do?
Yeah,
And I think I would be more inclined to something in physical therapy, maybe. Um, or some kind of being able to education. So I I have done I have been I have taught um classes, and done um I was a tutor for a while as well, and then I was a TA, a teaching assistant when I was in school, and I really did enjoy that part. I wouldn't, you know teaching anything, eh, to be honest, anything, I enjoyed, right, interacting with someone. I enjoy that part, and just making sure that people understand what I'm saying, and being watching them do whatever I told them, and do it right. It brings me joy for some reason. So I like teaching. And physical therapy is something that maybe I should have gone to school for that. Like, for real. I should actually have gone for that because whenever I'm home and I'm watching YouTube, a big part of the YouTube videos that I'm gonna be I'm watching are medicine, are biology, are related to anatomy, human body or something that a lot of those the videos are related to that. Either that or bad jokes, but it's so I am to that point where uh, studying and getting new information, it comes natural for me in that subject. So I think that would have been the wise decision for me to go to school for that, but uh, I didn't do it. My bad.
ah. Nice. All right. Lastly, what advice can you offer to up and coming esports broadcasters?
Oof, that's a loaded question. I said it before. don't don't center yourself into I'm gonna be just color, I'm just gonna be play by play. There's much more in casting than that, and if you're able to um, you know uh, channel in get into that vibe, then you will do better. Just there's times where you have to be very serious, but there's some other times where you can explore new things, and I will tell you to try that. Also, you should always, if you're starting, like you don't have a lot of experience, no one will actually hire you or give you a chance. Well, not many people will give you a chance unless you show them that you have something. And it's very easy for you to go to YouTube, watch an old game for from whatever esport you're trying to get into, or whatever, it doesn't have to be esport, like a real like not real but traditional sport as well. You can go in there, you can watch a game, and you can commentate over that game, and that's your demo, right? You don't have to be perfect, but it's better than if you and me, right, we
Right.
go to the same person and we're applying and we're saying, well, I don't have experience, but I have this, and if you like it, you can watch it. I mean, you can call me. You say that. I say I don't have any experience, but if you wanna risk it, then I'm here. So, are they gonna risk it with me, or are they gonna go with you because you already have something, right? And that's something I did when Rocket League was starting. I did my own tournaments. I was the commentator for the tournaments. I save it on YouTube because it's so easy to do. I mean, you just export it to whatever, and then I was like posting that on Facebook, on every single group for Latin America and Rocket League. I was posting that until someone replied and say, "Hey, I like what you're doing. Do you want to come and cast with us?" So you have to build your own opportunity sometime. It's not about, okay, no one is giving me a chance, right? Okay, they don't have to give you a chance, but how about you give yourself a chance? You build that opportunity, and then you have something to give to some other people. So yes, being willing to do that. I mean, it shows so much about you that you are, thinking by yourself,
Hmm.
and you have a drive, and it's not about complaining and that's it. It shows your, what you're made of in that moment. So I think that's huge, and a lot of people don't do it. I, I, I guess we could go more in depth here. You like study and ask questions, and go for feedback, and don't take things personally, and don't think that you're working more than everyone else because you don't know, well, what everyone else is doing. And I've seen that, like even on Twitter, people saying, why so and so got that job when I've been here for the longest. And I mean, dude, yeah, maybe that's a conversation that we should have, but not on Twitter. Okay, maybe you should
Yeah.
have it in private with someone else, and try to find out what's going on for real, right? But don't. I mean, your persona and your image is very very easily tarnished. So be careful with those comments. Sometimes just try to say things in a nicer way, and saying things in a nicer way is quite hard sometimes, especially when you're heated. So breathe, take it easy, and and try to be as polite as you can. I mean, saying whatever you have to say, right? But in a polite way. I think many discussions can be had under the right circumstances. And you just gotta learn, when is the right moment to say the things.
Yeah. It's important to be nice, but it's more nice to oh, I forgot the quote I was gonna say. My mother always tells me this. It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. There it is.
Yes.
Yes, and that's what I take into consideration when commentating as well. And I've built upon my opportunities too. I've earned it from the ground up. I took what was in front of me with Horlick's esports coach. I applied to the internship for Wasia, and look at where I'm at now,
There you go.
commentating Rocket League, Smash Bros, Valorant within the last 2.5 years, and I've really excelled my craft via feedback from my peers that have been watching the stream as well. Controlling my vocal variety, filling dead air time, because there's obviously dead air time. You can't always fill every single second of it, but at least fill most of it. And then incorporate more storylines, and just put like note sheets, note graphics up on the stream to get the audience more engaged and stuff like that.
Hmm.
That's what I've been really working on.
Yeah, I got a few more that you mentioned, right? Um, just about being nice, you gotta understand that you have to be nice to the players. You are there because there are players. Otherwise, you wouldn't have anything to do. And your job is enhancing the place. Whatever is happening, you gotta bring it up, and that means you don't you don't push down on the players. You don't say, oh, that's awful, that should never happen. I mean,
Right.
in whose mind that was a good idea? No, you try to sell it in a way that uh you say, oh, that happened because so and so did that play, and that play with their heads. That was such a brilliant play, but whoever that forced them into falling for that. There's ways of saying things. um so I think that's very important. And you're mentioning about doing different games, and I think that's good too. I think a mistake that I made was focusing too much on Rocket League and not expanding to some other games. In part is because I really like to I really have to like something in order to go full into it. And I think I found that game in Roller Champions now, but it took me a while for some other games. But you going into many games, I think it makes you more well-rounded. It puts you in many different situations, and the experiences that you get makes you, I think, better in the end. Right? You might not have that specialized um, knowledge about a specific game as some other people might have, but but I think the being well rounded is it's also very important, because we're not gonna be pro players and pro coaches, ourselves the whole time, right?
Right.
We're not gonna be that person that has the most insight about a game. So so if you're not gonna be that person, then you can be very good, at getting more experiences from different places. I think you shouldn't be, just like master of a craft. One thing people usually say, what's the saying? Jack of all trades, master of none, right? Something like that.
Yeah, something along those
Uh,
lines.
but people keep it there. Jack of all trades, master of none, and they seem to think that, okay, so you're a master of none, that's no good. Uh, but the actual saying is jack of all trades, master of none, but better than master of none. Uh, wait, jack of all trades, master of none. No, that's not the saying. But the saying is like, okay, so you're not a master of anything, but it's better than knowing nothing. That yes, you got a bunch of things with you, and it's better. I mean, if you're not a master of anything, you still have a lot of things within you.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
so that's
versatility.
better. Yeah, it's versatility.
Yep.
So I think that's pretty useful in esports and anything else, because if you're versatile, you can do things outside of esports as well.
Any final thoughts before we wrap up the interview?
I have talked so much, man. I don't know. Uh, I appreciate this. I hope I don't know if I was able to fulfill your expectations. I am glad that you
Oh, you
decided to
were.
do
Don't
the
worry.
interview
You
with
you
me.
did. Don't worry. This was a very fun interview to do. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for the invitation, and I appreciate it. It fills my heart. Thank you so much.
Yep. Chamko, where can people find you if they're interested in following you? And
Ooh, I I do Twitch streams, weird Twitch streams. If you're not over 18, I don't want to see you in my channel. Um, but Twitter is a safer place, although I don't use it as much. But I do commentate more. Like Twitter is more for me as a caster, right? As a esports uh, presence, and Twitch is for me being the idiot that I am, like in real life. So yeah, those are, I think, my main two social media, like as Chamako09 in Twitch, El Chamako09, EL, right? El Chamako09 on Twitter.
all right. Well, with that being said, thank you for watching this interview. I have been your fellow CA commentator, Andrew Czysz Jr., and he has been Abner Chamko Custodio Gonzalez.